Guys, when you first learn guitar, you start with open chords, right? And so many people poo-poo what they call the cowboy chords and, oh, you can't get out of the first position, you can't play. Well, poo on that, for one thing. There's so many things that I can do with open chords and finger picking, with just some add-ons and things like that. But so much of that is built on shapes. That's a G shape. That's a D shape. That's the A shape. That's the E shape. E minor shape. Those are foundational building blocks. They build as you go up the neck. It's the same thing. We're going to talk about shapes, chord shapes, and how this is going to open up into bar chords or just any other variation of chords. This all just repeats up the neck. So you need to learn these shapes in the beginning because you're going to reuse them over and over again. An E minor played with a different fingering is the minor shape bar chord. It just moves up the neck. All these shapes can just be moved up the neck. Now you have to bar them. There's the D sus2 in a different position, the shape. That's off that C shape with different fingerings. Okay, so guys, we're going to talk about the importance of shapes and how this is going to kind of unlock the neck for you if you just know the shapes. You don't have to memorize all the notes yet of where things are. I still don't know where they all are. I have to think about it. I can figure it out. But we're going to do this little exercise and just show you how learning your shapes and knowing the names of them in the first position will help you learn how to play up the neck. Guys, my name is Brandon. This is MyPOVGuitar. We teach you how to learn to play guitar from your point of view. And guys, let's do it from your point of view. The theme of this lesson is it's imperative to learn your shapes and the names of them, which is basically the chords, right? That's an E major chord in the first position, because this stuff will just translate up the neck, okay? You'll have to bar it. That acts as the bar. So if you play an E major like that, with that fingering, if you change the fingering, that frees up your index finger. It's the same chord. You don't have any other fingers to do anything with an E, where this way, you can do some add-ons. That's why you play it this way. But if you were to play it the other way, it would free up your index finger. Well, if that's E, that makes that F major, F sharp major, G, A, B, C. It just slides up the neck. This is true for all your original shapes in the open position, the A shape, okay? If you played that with your ring finger, that would allow, well, that's why that's a B, that's a C. That's a D. It's that A-shaped bar chord. The other one was an E-shaped bar chord, okay? You'll hear that used a lot. That's because it's that shape. Just played with different fingerings. So this works with D. Now, barred, it's really hard to make that, but you could do it. What you'll see a lot more is the D sus2 played with those fingers. Okay, so D shape, C shape even. Now there's a really hard one to do with the other fingers, right? So you'll see like variations. You'll see like Doobie Brothers. A lot of Dinosaur Jr. stuff. He uses that a lot. That's basically what you're doing. That is a variation of that C shape. Same thing with F. Your minors, E minor. Change your fingerings. F minor, F sharp minor, G minor. It's the E minor shape, okay? So learn these shapes in the open position, guys. E minor, E major, A major, A minor. There's your minor bar chords. That's just an A minor shape. C, C shape, F shape, D shape. And you just move it up the neck and it changes. Like this F shape, since everything you strum on an F play like that is barred, you can slide it up the neck and there's G. Where you get in trouble, you know, you can't just slide these up and have open strings. That's why you have to bar it, because it acts as that. It changes the dynamics. That C slit up is actually a form of a D, and it's not a D major though, but it sounds really cool. You can get away with it. But it's not a D major. You hear the difference in the notes, right? So you can't just slide and they're going to sit like, so if that's a D, this should be E. See, it sounds awful. But if you barred it, it will work. But you see how this is all starting to come together. So these crazy shapes you see these people doing, they're actually some variation of a chord that you can play down here on the neck, right? And when you start breaking it down, it starts to make sense. That Doobie Brothers stuff. When you realize that's just part of a C, it would be the equivalent of that, right? It all starts to make sense. So guys, be sure and just learn all your shapes, you know, and you'll learn that these bar chords, that's an E shaped bar chord, that's an E minor shaped bar chord, that's an A shaped bar chord, that's an A minor shaped bar chord. You'll see those more than anything, but that's what that's doing. And with it barring, it's just allowing you to move up the neck. So guys, learn your cowboy chords. I don't care what anybody says. Learn it, because that's the foundation of everything. And they sound so good, right? Guys, if you want to leapfrog your learning, I invite you to check out MyPOVGuitar.com, our beginner course. There'll be a link in the description. But until then, we'll see you in the next lesson.